Okay, back in action here. Fresh battery in the camera, and here we go. So this area looks like it used to be all wet, and it's dried up. You can see we got a section here with a whole bunch of telegraph poles, and then we've got an interesting spot coming up. I'll explain when we get there. Here you can still see more ice on the water. You see those telegraph poles. So again, as I explained on Saturday, so typically what you see in the configuration is on the top beam, you basically have a couple of, maybe I'll give you a zoomed in view here. I don't know if you can see any better. So on the top beam, very close to the pole, on either side of the pole, you have two aqua colored CD145s, and then everything else are clear Dominion 42s. Sometimes you'll get the clear Dominion 42 ones in the place of the CD145s, but this is the usual configuration. Again, I'm not an expert when it comes to insulators. There's people out there that collect, and they're always looking for different ones and different colors, and I've actually seen some GTP ones that were like purple. I haven't seen any of those, but certainly you see those aqua colored ones. Usually when people have gotten to the pole, usually the Dominion 42s are left on there. It's the aqua CD145s that are gone. Again, I've had to learn this stuff because I am not an expert on insulators. Not my area of expertise. Okay, I'm gonna zip you ahead here a little bit until we get to our next stopping point. So we are approaching our next stopping point here, and it's not really, well, it's kind of really related, or it is really related, but the real part of the story is kind of what happened. Feels like I'm returning to the scene of the crime here. So I'll show you the video, but you'll notice there's a telegraph pole down here. So when we were here on Saturday, I went down, and there were actually still some CD145s on there, and so I attempted to take them, and this is kind of what ensued. Look at that. You can actually see the insulators on here. Look, a whole bunch of Dominion 42s. Lynn, you stay there. Oh. And then you can see the CD145s. Are they going to come off? Yeah. There's one. What does this one say? This one says GTP telegraph, and you can see the other one won't come off. It's got a crack in it, but not bad. I've been trying to find one for my friend Terry. He's been asking for one. Okay, we're back in action here. little update. We had to take a quick break because that insulator that I found was had a little crack on the bottom. Go to put it inside my gear and sliced my finger. So basically what happened was when I went to go put it in the pocket of my vest, because there was kind of a chip in it, one of the edges was a little sharp. And it's kind of funny, when I looked at it at home, it didn't seem very sharp, but I guess just the way that I put it in there, you can see that I sliced my finger open, and you can see that it's still bandaged up. It's a pretty good slice. It's probably about ½ inch long, and it was went through quite a few layers of skin there. And I've got a band-aid on there, and I've got it taped up just to sort of protect the band-aid so it doesn't come off. Now, one of the interesting things that happened is that when I was doing was rendering myself first aid, in my tactical vest here, I have all kinds of stuff, including a first aid kit. The one thing that I found that I didn't have in my first aid kit was a band-aid. And so, as you saw in the little video clip there, I had to basically take some gauze, wrap some gauze. Meanwhile, I'm dripping blood all over the place. You know, and it's misting and raining, it's cold. And I had to wrap some gauze around my finger and then take some tape and then tape the gauze to hold it into place. So then I couldn't get my glove on properly, and it was just like, oh, you know, from bad to worse here. So again, another section of telegraph poles. Now, what I'm going to do is I'm going to zip you ahead a little bit. Just up there, you can actually see the grade starts to curve. So we've got something to talk about once we get there. So let's go there and just enjoy the telegraph poles here and the somewhat nice spring day that we have here. All right, so we've got a stopping point here somewhere. I'm just looking for my marker. There it is. So why are we stopping here? Well, you'll notice that we have a right-hand curve here. So the railway kind of makes a little bit of an S curve here. It curves and then it comes back again. So this spot is basically the end of this long straight section. So in the railway grade, there is a jog back by Linko, and then from there the railway is practically dead straight, or is dead straight, for almost 18 miles. I think it's 17.8 miles that it's dead straight up until this point here. Now what's interesting is this point here is where we actually stopped on Saturday when we were biking. By this point I got here and the mist had turned to like drizzle, and because it was so windy, just like kind of the wind, maybe even stronger than it was today, it was blowing. It was just like being pelted by like rain, but it was just like this very it was drizzle, right? It wasn't even raining, it wasn't coming down very hard, and I sat here and I'm like, okay, maybe it'll stop. And so I sat here for about 10 minutes trying to wait it out, and by that point I was just completely drenched, and I was like, I can't do this anymore, like I have to stop. And it was kind of like the bike of shame here. I felt so dejected and I felt so kind of mad that, you know, the weather had kind of turned and that we kind of wasted the opportunity. Now remember, like this, you know, I'm a ways from home. This takes time to get here. This is the better part of a 2-hour drive. from home. I think on Saturday, I think it was 330 kilometers there and back. So it's a lot of time. It's money in gas, you know, wear and tear on the vehicle, and then, you know, having to redo this was very, very frustrating. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to show you two things. First of all, I'm going to show you a map. I think I have to like splice 3 maps together here to show you those 18 miles of grade coming from Linco to here where it's straight, and then I'll show you a little clip of getting to this point here. I might have to bleep out a few things because I was not happy and there may have been some colorful words being said. So come on. It's like, all right, so let's hold up here, and then we're going to start proceeding into this curve here, and then we've got another feature coming up.